Thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
The role of a woman in the society is to submit. Birth control are the pills of the devil. Education is so fundamental to the development of a people. Hang murderers. Simple as that. What am I voting for? Voting will change nothing.
Tout le monde haïtien, como ye. God save the Queen.
Broadcasting live from ILTV, welcome to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. I'm a Justice of the Peace here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and we are streaming live on ILTV.com. I'm also sharing that Facebook page on my Facebook. Well, today, it was a glorious day here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas as the new Parliament met, and Her Excellency, the Governor General, Dame Margaret Pinling, read the speech from the throne. But before the speech was delivered, members of Parliament and the Senate met, and at the House of Assembly, they elected the nation's second big black speaker in an independent Bahamas. The first big black speaker was Sir Arlington Butler. And of course, D. Halston Moultrie is our speaker, and Don Sanders is the deputy speaker in the House of Assembly. So there are lots of things to take place because Dame Margaret did a wonderful job. Man, I was proud of Her Excellency. It was wonderful. Listen, she was royal. You hear me? Well-dressed. Man, she's beautiful. I'm proud of her. And I call on all the women them to tell Minis that we have to keep Dame Margaret. Man, isn't she wonderful? Full of grace. She read the speech, even though I have a secret to tell you about a fundamental error that Dr. Minis made. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope when I tell it to you, my people, the Negro people, that Minis will have Ace Newbold, his new press attaché, immediately respond and say that I'm wrong because I need to be wrong. Because if I'm right, I shall move Dr. Minis into the category of King George III Negroes. And you remember King George reigned between 1760 and 1820. Has Dr. Minis, our new Prime Minister, has he been graduated to a King George III Negro? We look at it. What fundamental error did he make at the opening of the parliamentary session? I wonder if the Chief Justice saw it. I wonder if the President of the Court of Appeal saw it. Because the Justice of the Peace, I think I know what the mistake is. And since I am on the attack and they got me angry, I can tell you, but Lord, let me be wrong, because I don't want to be right. This is Freedom March. We will look at the opening of the People Dem Parliament, the wonderful speech delivered by Dame Margaret Pinling, our Governor General, and the election of Halston Moultrie the Member of Parliament for Nassau Village, as Speaker. This is Freedom March. Rodney Monk is my name. And after the break, we'll be right back.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting exclusively on ILTV here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. You can watch this show Facebook Live on ILTV Studios Facebook page. And of course, I'm sharing it on my page, Rodney Monker. And Freedom March is broadcast Monday through Fridays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And there's a replay the following morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. My main telephone line is 323-7775, 323-7775, and our toll-free line is 242-300-0045, 242-300-0045, and our WhatsApp and text line is 357-7469, 357-7469. Well, yesterday, you would recall that I told you about a very sad incident in which a number of Negro males were alleged to have been robbing a place, culminating in police arriving, and it is believed there was a shootout. In any event, the police shot a 15-year-old student. Originally, we said that it was Doris Johnson, but we're now discovering that the Negro student is in fact a student of the R.M. Bailey Senior High School. Well, I have what I suspect is a statement from the new Negro Minister of Education and/or his ministry, Deacon Jeff Lloyd. So I'm going to read it to you, and it says, statement from the Ministry of Education. The Ministry of Education can confirm that a 10th grade male student from R.M. Bailey High School was fatally shot yesterday. As a police investigation is still ongoing, we have very few details to share with the public at this time. Nonetheless, we extend our deepest sympathies to the family and friends of the young man. The events surrounding this tragic incident point to a need for continued reform in our education system, and I plead with the country to assist us in our efforts to implement the necessary reforms to reduce the amount of criminality and violence in our young men. During this time, as the school community processes the tragic news and copes with grief, the Ministry of Education will offer counseling and bereavement support services to the students and staff affected. We once again convey our deepest sympathy and profound condolences. We hope that time will lessen the burden of the sorrow of those affected. May the soul of the dearly departed rest in eternal peace. So it's a tragic situation, and since we broke it here yesterday evening, I thought it was only fitting that we should read this statement from the Ministry of Education. Well, my folks, the Parliament of the Bahamas met for the first time after the May 10th general election. And it was wonderful to watch as everything was peaceful and there was a smooth transition of power. And the parliamentarians, they went to the House of Assembly, and the senators went to the upper chamber, the Senate. There, if I have it correct, they would have, at the Senate, elected a president. And we know who the president is. She is Miss Kay Smith. And they would have elected a vice president. I'm not sure who the vice president of the Senate is. I'm advised it is a female. If that is so, I think it is regrettable, because since the FNM is talking about gender equality, it would have been good to have a female as the president of the Senate and a man as the vice president. But anyway, that's what they have elected. But in the lower chambers, Nassau Village Member of Parliament, that's the FNM Member of Parliament, D. Halston Moultrie, he was elected as the Speaker. In fact, one FNM described him as the second big black speaker in an independent Bahamas. You would recall that Sir Arlington Butler became the first big black speaker in an independent Bahamas. Sir Arlington is no longer in politics. Interestingly enough, a look at Halston Moultrie. He looks just like Sir Arlington, but he's a bigger, blacker man than Sir Arlington. So he is the Speaker of the Honorable House of Assembly. And then the Negro attorney who beat Leslie Miller in Tall Pine, Donald Saunders, he, if I have it correctly, he was elected as the Deputy Speaker of the Honorable House of Assembly. You would recall that the last Member of Parliament for Nassau Village happened to have been Dion Smith, who was a deputy, in fact, the Deputy Speaker. And one of the political problems that Dion ran into as Deputy Speaker, he really didn't have any ministry, and he was handicapped, and he began to cry out. I remember his cries. Listen, the people in Nassau Village, they're hurting. We need to do something for them. And I could hear his political cries for the people of Nassau Village. Well, Halston Moultrie has now won that seat, and the economic conditions for the people of Nassau Village remains the same. Mass unemployment, utter frustration, and a community which has lots of crime, lots of killing, lots of gangsterism. And Halston Moultrie, if you know him well, he's really a weak-kneed, apologetic Negro. And I'm certain that it will deteriorate, because he ain't got no ministry, and how the heck he can get them people little contract. But I wish him the best in his political endeavor. But I suspect that he will be faced with the same socio-political problems that Dion was faced with. But who knows? Halston might do it, because he is a smart Negro man. So I thought I would say that to you. Well, I am certain every citizen would have been proud had you been able to view TV, or in my case, I watched the live streaming on Facebook. And man, Dame Margaret is royal. I really think Menace should do two things. One, he should not move her. Two, he should not encourage her to leave. My God, when I saw our blessed Governor General, I felt proud. I mean, she had everything. The woman got class. Her dress, beautiful. Her hat, beautiful. Her poise, beautiful. And then her address, the speech that she delivered from the throne, it was wonderful. But I have been advised, and I verily believe, and my intelligence is that Menace and his incompetent government lost the original copy of the speech from the throne. And that is how Dame Margaret ended up with one little book. Come on, it's an 84-year-old woman. Why they give her that little book? But she did an excellent job. I am told that Menace couldn't find it, and they were all over the place, up and down, looking for the original copy. It is the first time in the history of the modern parliament that this faux pas has ever occurred. The first prime minister in an independent Bahamas, the late Sir Lyndon Oscar Pinley, he never lost the speech from the throne. And then the second prime minister, the Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram, Papa never. Papa was always smart. There was always one, the first official copy, and two, the second official copy, just in case they can't find the first one. And then we come to the third prime minister in a modern Bahamas, the Right Honorable Perry Gladstone Christie. Mr. Christie never lost the speech. But we are told, and I believe my sources, that many of them lose the speech. And they were like if they lost their head up and down, where you had the tail chasing the head, looking for the speech. My God, it's the first sign that this government is on the wrong track. Ministers got to have known better. Huh? What kind of thing this is? Can you imagine losing the original copy? And so I am advised, and I believe, that as a result of Menace's incompetence, and they couldn't find the speech, they had to give the Governor General that small little booklet. Lord, I bring Negro leadership before you. Guide them so that they will not embarrass me, your Negro son, dear Lord. So today, I have finally decided what category of Negro that I shall place our new Prime Minister in. Dr. Menace is a King George III Negro. Remember that. What kind of Negro is our Prime Minister? King George III Negro. Remember that, because at some point, I'm going to test my listening audience. And King George III was German, couldn't speak a word of English. And he reigned between 1760 and 1820. So, King George III. Now, at the opening of the parliament, guess who shows up? That picky teeth Montoli named, what's his name? The man who wants Bahama back. What's his name? Is Marillion. He was there. Why ministers don't keep these foreign people away from around the People's Parliament? It is as if this man wouldn't stay away. And certainly, that is self-evident to me that he owns Dr. Menace and the FNM government. But I blame the Nuncio de Aguilar. So I'm going to assign him to a Negro group. De Aguilar is a King George III Negro. I'll tell y'all, as the weeks and the months progress, how is it that he has become a King George III Negro? So I just thought I'll let you know it. And I really hope that the FNM would issue a statement telling me I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong. Goodness me. These Negroes are something, eh? It is as if they don't understand the system. And Papa, I saw him sitting up front. I mean, at least Papa could have said to him, now, Minister, don't forget the speech from the throne. Or Papa could have said, let me keep it, since he knows what kind of man Minister is. But he lost the speech from the throne. You see? I don't have to go there to know that, but I know. Oh, boy. Anyway, let's see what Dame Margaret read. It is interesting to note that in the speech from the throne, the government tells us that there will be zero tolerance of crime. They're not tolerating any crime. Isn't that powerful? And take it from me, it is a good position. Because if you have zero tolerance for the little things, well then certainly once you start clamping down on the little problems, well, the public will get the message. So I really can't criticize that. I think that is wonderful, taking into consideration that the school children them armed and they're robbing, okay? They're robbing. But the Tribune headline seems to suggest as if the Tribune knows something that we don't know. Because if you saw the Tribune, it say police kill boy as he steals cigarette. Is the Tribune suggesting that the boy who was killed stealing the cigarettes, he had no gun? That's how it sounds to me. You know? Anyway, this is Freedom March, and you say I have a call? I'm going to take this call, but after that you hold call for a while. Welcome to Freedom March. Hello? Hello once. Hello twice. Hello? Goodness me. Where's that Negro? Yeah, so there's going to be zero tolerance for the small things, and they're going to enforce the law on the big matters. And of course, they have me suspicious. In the speech, I heard a word called gender. And whenever I hear gender, I am suspicious of it. But we're going to look at what the FNM tells us as they set out their National Development Plan. So this is Freedom March. Bear with me. Her Excellency, Dame Margaret Pinling. It is a wonderful speech. And I'm certain that if Menace had substituted her, whoever the other person would have been, they could not deliver such a royal address. This is Freedom March. Parliamentary democracy on display as the new government formally enters the Parliament, the upper house and the lower chambers. And Halston Moultrie is the new speaker. This is Freedom March. We'll be right back.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. Thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live here on ILTV. And I'm on channel 224 on BTC Flow, channel 112. I hope I'm repeating it correctly. Yes, I am. Well, the Parliament met, and Her Excellency, Dame Margaret Pinling, she read the speech from the throne. And I wondered in the course of her reading the speech whether I had heard correctly something that she said. Let me look at it. Dame Margaret, please forgive me if I am misquoting you. This is not deliberate. my government will hereafter outlaw the uttering or writing of, quote, my government in any subsequent speeches. Did I hear that? Did I really hear that? I really can't believe ministers and those could put such a stupid thing in the speech. This country, we practice what is called the Westminster system of government. That is the system. This is not an American-style government. Our system of government is patterned after our former colonial bosses, Great Britain. It's called the Westminster system. And Her Majesty the Queen, when she reads the speech, she reads it from her government minutes. Start listening to the American radio and TV and listen to Britain, okay? The Governor General is the personal representative of Her Majesty the Queen. The Parliament is comprised of 1, Her Majesty, 2, the Senate, 3, the House of Assembly. So the government belongs to the Queen. So why are you trying to move that? Why are you trying to confuse it? It is the same stupid policy that was read from the speech from the throne, in which ministers them say they're going to hold a referendum. Now remember, I have taught my people that the word referendum is a dirty, nasty, stinking, corrupt word. And I've told you, the only time we should support a referendum if we are moving the impediments to hang murderers. If minister thinks that a prime minister should serve only 2 terms, then he should amend the FNM Constitution and not attempt to move an established law. You shouldn't. Our system tells us that the person who is able to be elected by his leader, the leader that can be elected by members of his party, that's the person who takes us into a general election. And if the people vote for the party, then the leader becomes the prime minister. So if minister doesn't want to serve more than 2 terms, put it in the FNM Constitution so that a first person who's been leader of the party for 2 times and prime minister will not get a 3rd term. But why call a referendum? Why? Why you want to waste public money? Why you all want to start another big row? Because I'm opposed to referendum and I don't care who bring it. I should lead a campaign against it because I don't trust y'all Negroes. I don't trust y'all. All right? So, from the speech of the throne, the government tells us they ain't tolerating no crime. Okay? And you would recall that there was a police officer, Green Slade, who was murdered in the well fields leading up to the general election. You remember? The policeman? I told you all I knew him. He used to come to Black Village as a young boy. All right? They kill him. And then Marvin Dames mounted an FNM podium. And what did Marvin promise? The police. He said when the FNM is elected, he becomes the Minister of National Security. All policemen will be allowed to have their piece on them, to have a gun, and to carry it home with them. Even though Marvin knows that that was a policy, that Green Slade objected to it strongly. And I was fortunate that a policeman was shot and another policeman during the storm, I can't remember the year, but it was in October, perhaps 2012. He had to run because some people shoot gun at him, and he ran to the nearest Justice of the Peace office for refuge. And thank God, when I opened the door, I had policemen in my office, and they were well armed. All right? And so I was forced to go to see Greenslade and to say to him, listen, there are policemen who are telling me that they are concerned, being involved in high-level investigations, that people may want to harm them. And I've come to ask you to please allow these officers to carry their gun home. I don't know if I should be saying exactly what Greenslade said to me, but I'm going to try to tell you without telling you everything. Greenslade said he was concerned that there were some police officers who had relationship issues. You know what I'm talking about. Them and the wife, them rowing, them and the girlfriend, them and the boyfriend. And he was concerned allowing too many officers who had these domestic issues to go home with gun. And when he finished explaining that to me, I back off because his arguments were logical and reasonable. But Marvin, who was his deputy commissioner, knew what the policy was. But now, to get votes, he promised to police them that they can be able to be armed. But I hear that from the speech from the throne. And Marvin them think I forget. Well, I'll tell you something. What I don't remember, Joe Blacks reminds me. All right? So, that isn't something that is inconsistent. Playing on the emotion of law enforcement officers who had a colleague murdered under mysterious circumstances in the Waterfield, somewhere in the back of Carmichael Road. I know Greenslade. I knew him as a young boy coming to Black Village to see some of the young girls as they came from CC Sweeting. But that is the bull skate that Marvin Dames told us. But I hear Dame Margaret reading that as a new policy position of the government as it prepares the police for zero tolerance. I say, Marvin, you are nothing but a picky-teeth Montobi. You're nothing but a frying pan. Stop playing on the emotions of citizens, and particularly law enforcement officers who at a time that you exploited their emotions, they were in sorrow over the death of a colleague. Boy, y'all could play some dangerous politics. Anyway, go right ahead, Marvin. Make promises. These the same people who vote for y'all, and these the same people who would boot y'all. All right? So I just thought I'll remind them. Now, in the speech from the throne, the FNM talk, they say that they will create a, what is it? Zero tolerance of crime, inclusive of petty and serious criminal activities. And they're going to put together a national plan against gender-based violence. Now, it was interesting to note that in the course of the Governor General giving a speech, Tommy Turnquest was the commentator with Ministers' new press officer, Ace Newbold. In 2007, Minister might not be aware or doesn't remember, or Marvin Dames might not remember. But I've been to it because I crashed it. I got angry when I heard that they had a forum on crime and nobody invited me. So I decided I'll show up to help them fight crime. And I showed up. And Tommy had a series of small conferences. They had what that light-skinned Negro woman named, the woman who in charge of the crisis center, Sandra Dane Patterson. Sandra and them give out an agenda. And when I read the agenda, the one that attracted my attention was gender-based equality. So that is the little conference I've been to, where a number of intellectual men, pastors, and other people who were playing class, they got up and they talked nonsense, all right? They said how gender violence was wrong, how you shouldn't beat your wife, how a wife shouldn't beat your husband, how you shouldn't beat your sweetheart. All kind of nonsense they run on with. So I hold up my hand. I hold up my hand. When I hold up my hand, Sandra Dane, like she jumped, because she figured me out, and I asked to speak. And because the man, this was a stupid Negro male in coat suit. And I must confess, he looked good in his coat suit, but his thinking was silly. He told us that if he catch his wife keeping sweetheart, he's just going to go and divorce her. I can put up with that. So I asked if I could speak. I said, listen, my wife is my woman, and my wife can't keep sweetheart, because if I catch you keeping sweetheart, although I am saved, I'm going to beat you and your sweetheart. Don't tell me no nonsense. They think I'm stupid. Huh? And so now ministers come with the same silly thing. Nobody's going to keep sweetheart on me. You talk about gender, you tell the woman, don't keep sweetheart. Won't be no fight. You tell the man, don't keep sweetheart. And I got up and I told Tommy and Sandra Dane, I said, I know a man. He got 3 sets of children born in his marriage, and ain't none belong to him. And you don't think that can cause violence? Gender equality fighting is wrong. Man shouldn't beat woman. Woman shouldn't scold man. But don't keep no sweetheart. Because if you keep sweetheart, I'm prepared to beat you and your sweetheart. Tommy them think I stupid, eh? Marvin Dane think I stupid, eh? Let their wives keep sweetheart. Talking nonsense about gender equality and gender-based violence. Violence is wrong. We should resist violence. But it is temptation. You hear me? It's temptation. So if they want to reduce gender-based violence, you tell the woman, miss, don't keep no sweetheart on your husband. And then you turn to the husband and you tell him, stop keeping sweetheart. And if Tommy and Marvin and Minnis, if they stand up and tell the man them don't keep sweetheart, there's no reason for the woman to put monkey tamarind in his jockey. And if you tell the man not to keep sweetheart, then you'll have peace. So you can only solve gender-based violence once people are prepared to be honest in a relationship. Don't tell me that. They must think I was the Englishman. There was this white man, Sir Roberts. Sir Roberts came home and met Lady Roberts, keeping sweetheart. He caught her in the very act. But he was a white man from England, well-educated, sophisticated. So as he stepped into the bedroom and saw what the wife was doing, he tiptoed backwards and he turned to the butler and he said, when Madam is finished, please tell her how greatly disturbed I am. That's white people. White people just do that. But us, we don't do that. Huh? Let Marvin tell you about the man in Freeport when he was a policeman. He came, they ever tell him, every time you go to work, Mr. Man come home. And so he slept, he hid. He went to work, he sneaked back in the house, and he hid in the clothes closet. And when he looked, just like the neighbor say, the man show up. Well, thank God, in the clothes closet was electricity and the iron. So he pushed the iron in the plug. And when he saw their sins, he came out and he put the hot iron on the man, and the man broke off run. So I want them to be reasonable. Violence is wrong. You shouldn't beat woman, and woman shouldn't beat man. But you gotta have faithfulness. And if there's no faithfulness, what the heck you think will happen? Huh? Stop being stupid. You tell people stop keeping sweetheart. All right? That's why all these men got prostate problem. Because they're keeping sweetheart. And I believe that most of the prostate cancer is due to a lot of sweethearting. They got me so mad as I listened to Dame Margaret Pinling talking about this gender-based violence. And I said to myself, you mean to tell me Marvin and Minnis is coming up again with Tommy Turnquest's old strategy that did not work. Talk no nonsense, man. You reduce violence by telling people to be faithful. Or just hide your sweetheart. All right? They get me so mad, man. Goodness have mercy. Ah, boy. Let's see what else they run on with. Now, they're promising in the speech from the throne, they say they can move to swiftly reduce the level of unemployment without telling us their economic path to reducing unemployment. So it's empty talk and empty rhetoric. But I might be wrong. So I look at more notes. How? How? Well, let's listen to what they have suggested. And I don't know if this could work. All right? I don't know if this could work. They are suggesting that they will. What will they do in Grand Bahama? They say they're going to create an investment and promotion board for Grand Bahama. And among other things, to promote Grand Bahama as a place in the production of film. How many jobs they think? Huh? 500 jobs will not solve the problem in Grand Bahama. This morning, God sent a former minister of the F&M to where I was, and we engaged him on economic activities. And I'm quoting him. He said, listen, 400 jobs ain't gonna work. 1,000 jobs will not have an economic impact in Grand Bahama. So I said, man, be reasonable. How much? He said, we need a minimum of 5,000 jobs to begin to create an economic impact. But Peter Turnquest, who is the Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance, he thinks that Grand Bahama can solve its economic problem if they can promote film production. Bunch of nonsense these people tell us. Ain't got no clear plan. No clear plan. And if I heard them incorrectly, then I'm going to invite people from Grand Bahamas to call me and to tell me whether or not they agree with the F&M that if you start making film in Grand Bahama, it is going to significantly impact unemployment. Peter, them think I crazy. Y'all think I crazy? I ain't crazy. Right? I ain't crazy. That ain't gonna work. You might create 1 or 2 jobs, all right? But that ain't gonna work. That's just talking about a bunch of nonsense and so forth. So that's what they are saying that they are going to do, all right? They should come up. If they really wanted to have an economic impact, you go into an industry that will produce jobs. But these Negroes, since 1967, and Penland encouraged everybody to just get an education to be lawyer and doctor, as opposed to encouraging people in the sciences. And one of the science that is fundamentally lacking is, guess what? Agriculture. Agricultural production. All right? So I can look at what they say, because they came up with a suggestion which they say is going to have a significant impact on food production. But that can't work, because the man who was trained in agriculture is Michael Pintard. And Michael has been a lazy Negro from he was a youth. I used to carry him in the back of the bus, you know. Watch out for me. I took him in the back of the bush where there was 10 acres of land. 10 acres. And I watched that Negro. Not one time did Michael request little pea seed, little corn seed, not even pumpkin seed. Michael, I got his buck. All right? I'm 60 now. So I've done a lot of things. And I took many of F&Ms who are now in the government, including Carl Battle. I had him in the back of the bush in 1987. And everything he's told me in 1987, I remember it as if he told it me today. They ain't no agriculture. They ain't. So the FNM say they will promote the Family Development Act, which is designed to promote agriculture. But Michael Pintard is the only minister in the FNM government who is scientifically trained in agriculture, in animal husbandry. Michael knows how to mate an animal. He knows how to get a cow and an ox to mate, because the ox is perhaps one of the most clumsy lover. But Michael could tell you how to get him to mate. And he does it artificially by stimulating the prostate glands of the ox and then inserting the sperm in the cow. So, these Negroes, they get me mad. They can promote agriculture. They're going to promote the Family Development Act. When minister isn't clear on a land policy. Because in the speech from the throne, they talk about giving crown land to Bahamians who are qualified. What do they mean by qualification? When my position is every Bahamian who has never had a crown grant should be given a minimum of 10 acres. But they ain't serious, because they do not wish to economically empower us. And one of the quickest ways by which we can be empowered is with the distribution of crown land, because land is the basis of wealth. But they think that we are stupid. They can promote that. Oh boy, it's just amazing what they are doing to my people, the Negro people. So as you listen to the speech from the throne, ministers don't have any policy. Ain't no clear policy. And the first sign of it is when they send the scientists. Michael Pintard is the scientist. He going to be a coach as minister of the youth, minister of youth. They're going to be, what he can be doing? Playing games? He should have sent Hiram. What's his name? Hiram Lewis. I prefer him being minister of youth, although his ways are usually unlawful, because when I show up with the summons of the Court of Appeal from the Supreme Court, he usually break off run. But I prefer him there. And they should send Michael with his lazy self into agriculture so we can have food production and we can establish good animal husbandry. Oh boy. My spiritual advisor, where are you? Because the FNM is getting me angrier and angrier every day. Every day. This piece of speech from the throne. They start off on the wrong foot. Lost the original copy. Give Dame Margaret one small little tiny booklet. Never happened. Minutes on day one of the opening of the parliament, they lost the speech. Can you imagine it? Can you imagine they lost the speech from the throne and had to resort to that little book? You know the thing I know it. I got y'all under the microscope. Lose it. Anyway, oh boy, I don't know what I can do, because these Negroes just on my mind. Just on my mind. So let me see what else they run on with. Well, they're talking about noli prosequi. That's very interesting. And they now want to take away the power through referendum from the Attorney General and give it to the Director of Public Prosecution. I'm opposed to it. If you can't trust the Attorney General, how the heck I can trust a Director of Public Prosecution? Because a gangster is a gangster, whether or not the gangster has the title of Attorney General or the title of Director of Public Prosecution. I say whenever they bring a referendum, if it isn't to hang murderers, we should vote no. This is Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. I'll be right back in a second.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live here in Nassau, Bahamas on ILTV. My name is Rodney Monker. Today, the Parliament of the Bahamas officially convened. At the top of the ceremony is when the Prime Minister presents to the Governor General his government speech setting out their policy and their strategy in this session of the Parliament. So that becomes a very important address to the nation. It gives the citizenry an idea of what its government proposes to do. And Minister did present to Dame Margaret the speech from the throne. It is interesting to note that Minister is calling for a national referendum to limit the Prime Minister to 2 terms and the recalling of members of Parliament. Now, every time Negroes in the Bahamas, Negro leadership, hear the foreign white people them say things, the foreign white government, they love the idea. And so what they do, they come back to us to show us how intellectual they are, how progressive they are. But they never sat back and brainstorm over the idea, discuss it, before they formally present it to the people. Let's look at the recall of MPs. Doesn't that sound wonderful? But let me show you where it's stupid. I can show you where it's stupid. Lord, forgive me if I'm sinning. In Michael, the former member of Parliament was V. Alfred Gray. He was defeated by a female F&M candidate. What was the difference in the vote? Please forgive me if I have it off a little. But if my thoughts are correct, the difference was 28 votes. You heard what I tell you? If Alfred Gray was able to persuade the 28 voters, he would have been elected. But unfortunately, the F&M in the Salami or the Tsunami, the female, Miss Miriam, I think her name is, she won by 28. So when the F&M now enact into law legislation designed to recall the Member of Parliament, you see how easy it would be for Alfred Gray and the PLP to jump on the plane, some of them on the mail boat, go down to Michael and work the 28 others and win them over to sign the petition to have a recall. You see how easy that is? I say it's stupid. Because in Michael, every month you can have election. You go down there, you know how y'all Negroes is do election. Y'all play like you're in a save, but you're in a buy vote. Huh? That's what y'all do. You bring little grits, little flour, onion, lard in the early days. These days, you can get your foreigners to give you the money and you can go down there and bribe people. All right? Because it's a gangster election. And the party them is a bunch of gangsters party. All right? So you see how silly it is? We jump on the railboat, go down to Michael and petition. Get the people them to sign a petition. And the next thing you know, next month is an election. And then 2 months later, you go down there and the same thing. They need to think these things out. Y'all better stop it, eh? Every time you all hear these foreign white people say things, you all educate yourself in the various system of government. You all ain't brainstorm. You all just jump up with your stupid policy and presented it to us. will be interesting when Minister does it, because I'd like to go down to my car and see if I could get them other 28 people to sign a petition to recall the MP. So they should think these things out. That's what I think. It should be thought out clearly. Now, in this referendum, Carl Bettel obviously has no trust in himself. So they now want us to amend the Constitution, where we will take powers that an Attorney General presently holds and pass it over to a Director of Public Prosecution, because some people in the Caribbean tell them that works. Well, if the Director of Public Prosecution is a gangster, what you think will happen? What you think will happen? Why make it appear that it's only the Attorney General who you suspect is immoral and indecent and is a gangster? I'm opposed to it. I want an Attorney General who is politically answerable to the people to have that power. And to the extent that that Attorney General abuses the power, we'll kick him or her in a perpendicular position. But don't tell me we can give it to the Director of Public Prosecution, because I can tell you about a lot of judicial gangsters. 60, we had a judge, a judge of the Supreme Court, all right, that Alison Maynard Daddy had the police sneak under his window. Sneak under his window and watch him, because his lordship smuggled his sweetheart into the country, a whole woman. You imagine a judge of the Supreme Court? A judge of the Supreme Court smuggled a whole woman into the country. You know how to smuggle a whole woman? Because he had a plane. And everybody say that the judge was a man of integrity, how judicious he was, how good he knew the law. But that sweetheart he had was sweeter than the law. And instead of sweethearting the law, he smuggled the woman in because he was a pilot. And you know who told me this? Sir Clement Maynard told me this. He told me this, that I wouldn't lie on a dead man. And the judge flew her in to Eleuthera, smuggled her in. And then he ruled against the PLP. He threatened to jail Sir Clement. And Penland told him that if you jail Sir Clement, you got to find a cell for me. And Sir Clement Maynard told me that he told the judge, he produced the SIB. Today, when Minister legalize it, they will now call it the National Intelligence Agency. And Sir Clement told me that he presented the file to the judge, and they told the judge, you have a choice. You either resign, or we're going to prosecute your backside for smuggling a whole sweetheart into the country. So that don't solve the problem. If the man in charge has no integrity, no honor, you think gangsterism ain't gonna happen? So I'm opposed to it. Let Carl be in charge. I want Carl so that if he doesn't do the right thing, I can take rotten tomato, and when he's not looking, lick him on his foot with it. All right? But that's my position. Because the history, we had a magistrate. The magistrate, he took a bribe with his stupid self. Short little black man, right? And they trick him. He take the bribe. They write on the money. And there he was, took the bribe. I 60. And if you get me mad, I'll call the judge, the magistrate name, even though I forget it. And he took a big, big bribe. But when he came to the Bahamas, they say how he's a jurisprudence. They talk all kind of nonsense until he see that bribe. So it's integrity. And then don't forget, we had a magistrate still living when the man came to her with the $10,000 and told her He wanted him to release the fella who was charged with all that drugs. She ain't do it. She ain't do it. She come walk out of the court, head north to Bay Street, down Davy Lyron Road, Marlboro, and just across, she went to the United States Embassy. And the U.S. ambassador was a woman named Mrs. Carol Boyd. Boyd? Miss Carol somebody. And by grab, when we listen, I don't know, the MP got $250,000 and offered the magistrate only 10. How you can collect $250,000? $250,000! And when he offered the magistrate 10,000. Well, thank God, the magistrate, she wasn't taking any chance. She told the Americans, and then the Americans row. So they lock up the MP. Henry Bostwick represent the MP, and the MP went to jail for 6 months. So don't tell me which power you're going to pass, because if the man you pass the power to is a ace crook, you'll still have corruption going on. I'm 60, and I remember all kind of things, and I'm going to tell you all young people, don't mind these people, they ain't saved, and they ain't sanctified, and they run from the Holy Ghost. Ain't nothing to them. Wrong here talking nonsense, but you can take the power from the Attorney General and give it to who? Huh? You know how many crooks wrong here? Huh? And I can call the name, because many of them were convicted. Crooks, talking nonsense, but given that. So what else they say they're going to do? So they're going to move swiftly to reduce the high level of unemployment among the youths, but they ain't give us no clear policy. If they pursued agriculture, agriculture will give us 50,000 jobs. Because in 1994, I remember, 1994, Hubert Ingram was prime minister, and they announced that they wanted young people to go to Andres to pick okra and other crops. Hundreds of young people went to Andres to pick crops, but it turned out to be one big joke. So agricultural production, if we went into farming, we'll produce. I have a caller. Welcome, caller.
Hi, Mr. Monka. How are you today?
I am as angry twice.
Mr. Monka, how are you today?
I'm angry. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, and I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you.
I'm angry.
Mr. Monka.
Yes.
Mr.
Don't listen to the mic.
Okay, Mr. Monka, I think you need to write a book, because everything you're saying I'm very interested in learning about.
I need somebody to write for me.
So,
I'm a talker.
When are you going to get on writing this book?
I need somebody, when I talk, they write. How does it sound?
Mr. Monka.
Yes?
Didn't our lady look lovely today?
Listen.
Didn't she look gorgeous today?
If she was...
I don't think nobody else could dress as good as my lady.
Listen to me. And she had the right complexion.
I mean, just gorgeous.
I mean, she was royal. Isn't he?
Everything. And guess what? The speech, Mr. Monka, who could beat that speech?
In fact, I need her to give me some speech lessons.
Clear as day, no mistake.
I was
out
proud.
of one little small book. At least they could have taken that book and put it in a decent folder so nobody could have seen that little book.
Listen,
They didn't think about that.
No. Incompetency on the part of ministers, they lost the speech. Why are you laughing?
I have to laugh.
They lost
you
it.
should lose a speech. You should have at least 3 copies.
They lost
3 copies.
Listen to me. They lost the speech. You hear me?
Yes, Mr. Monka.
They lost it.
Yeah, they lost it. It's quite obvious.
I sent my men. And I said to the men, I said, now, I want you to keep your eye on minutes. They asked me, why? Why you keep cursing him? I said, I'm not cursing him. Just watch him, because I know incompetency is on the march. And by grab, Menace lost the speech. You hear it from...
Menace lost the speech. They lost the speech.
You hear it from me first.
And they need to keep they need to keep Lady Pendleton right on top of that hill, because they ain't got nobody better than her to keep on top of that hill, because she gonna represent them to the fullest.
Listen.
They need to keep her right there.
The hat.
Nobody could walk in her shoes. Nobody could walk in her shoes.
Did you see the hat with the nice bow? And then...
Yeah, Mr. Monk, I noticed your spiritual advisor isn't there.
Well, sometimes the FNM has them intimidated, you see? But don't worry, he's a good man. And since he isn't here, it gives me the opportunity to just rant and curse.
And vent on them.
Yes.
Give them everything what you got today.
Okay, well, don't forget now you got a match with me on Labor Day.
I'm ready.
You're a good woman.
Okay, Mr. Monk, have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Can you imagine? A whole speech. Menace and the FNM lost it. You should see them searching up and down. Up and down. You don't think y'all can hide things from me? Huh? You can't hide nothing from me. Because I's FNM. And the FNM tell me, say, goodness, man, we didn't know Menace was this incompetence. I said, what do you do now? Said he lost the speech. Can you imagine it? Now, if Menace is losing the original copy of the speech from the throne, can you imagine what he'll be doing with the government policies? Welcome to Freedom March. Hello? Hello once? Hello twice? Hello 3 times. That person isn't answering. You better go to another line.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Mr. Monka. How are you this afternoon?
Oh, I'm angry as hell.
Not like we got a dictatorship government in a minute, eh?
Well, I don't think they're smart enough to be dictator, because if Menace lose the speech from the throne, chances are he would lose that new law. You heard they lost the speech from the throne?
No, I didn't watch anything today, actually.
Yeah, well, only me know.
Only you know.
Yeah, they're going to deny it, but they lost the speech from the throne. Something, eh?
That's powerful.
Indeed, it is not only powerful, it is indecent and scandalous.
Well, we shall wait and see as to what this new government is going to do.
Yeah, well, they say they're going to promote filming in Grand Bahama. I want to know how much film they could make to get all of them people employed. Anyway, you do well, sister.
You do well. I was a woman's dance, so I always watch you every day.
God save the Queen, and I thank you.
God save the Queen.
This is powerful. So, I have another call. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Mr. Monka.
I'm fine. What's on your mind?
Mr. Monka, I was curious about that little book. As her accent, you had that looked like a little pamphlet.
Well, it's the same size as the FNM manifesto. I don't know if I brought it with me because I'm supposed to be having some assistance, but you know, it ain't materialized yet. But the FNM has a manifesto the size of that book. And the manifesto is a joke, and obviously, Menace government is one big joke. Can you imagine? The personal representative of our blessed Queen. And Menace, them lost the original copy of the speech. It's horrible, eh?
Yes.
Never happened.
There's something else. I heard you spoke on about agriculture.
Yes.
So, I was listening also to you because you clear it up. So with that agricultural
the promotion.
The promotion what they are going to impose, would that affect BAMSI and Andrews now?
It will not affect BAMSI, but I think it is designed to encourage citizens to get into agricultural production.
Okay.
But clearly it is not properly taught out. The man who is trained in agriculture is Michael Pintard. And Michael has been lazy for the last 15 years. See, they know I know Michael. I used to carry Michael in the back of the bush.
Yeah, because they have Renwood Wells, eh? So.
And Renwood, while Renwood was born on a family island, Renwood don't like hard work. He don't like hard work. Because he ain't gonna plan no peace.
Mr. Monka, you was very informative, and listen, you have the show going, and and the internet is frozen completely.
Well, listen, I'm 60, and you might not be aware of it. I've been everywhere in the politics of the country. There are times when I'm quiet. I'll be watching them. And since I'm an advanced thinker, I'll say, wait a minute now, let me watch what he's doing, because I know 30 years down the road, I'm going to throw it in their face. I got some things to throw at them, but I need like 10 more years. And it'll be like 40 years ago. All right?
Okay.
But I know them, and they're not serious. The last time.
The internet is frozen.
What you mean by frozen?
We can online. They have you freeze completely.
Man, don't mess around. Go to ILTV. What's happening on ILTV.com? I frozen there too?
No, I watching you on the TV, but on the Facebook.
Well, listen to me. Are you on my page or are you on ILTVstudios.com?
No, I'm on your page.
Okay, well, move from my page and go to IL, because these people have been sabotaging me. I don't know why. Everywhere I go, they're sabotaging me.
Because you're the best.
I think that's what it is. I hate to say that.
And they're jealous.
I think you're right.
Yes.
They should stop it, because I'm getting tired. And the Bible has taught me that I should pray for, but these people, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, but they can't stop you though.
They will never be able to stop me, because I put my trust in the Lord. So I'm pressing this thing one more time to see what is going to happen. I hope it works. All right? Okay, take good care, sister.
Okay.
Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Are you there? Hello? Are you there? I'm not hearing the person. You better try somebody else. Hello?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my dear.
Yes, I'm calling to congratulate the Governor General.
Oh, Lord. She's
on a job well done.
Well done.
And I congratulate her on the way she conducted herself.
Listen, she's powerful.
And the way she was dressed, she was royal.
Listen, she was royal.
She was more than royal.
Listen.
She speaks well.
Oh, Jesus.
She dressed well.
Yes.
She sits well. She did everything well.
Did you see how
she really did something to my spirit, and guess what?
What?
I just tell people she's an Andrus woman like me.
Yes.
I'm an Andrus being far apart from settlement to settlement.
My God.
And she did everything, even when she was getting in the car. Because I didn't want to watch it, but somebody called me and told me must watch, and I just turned the TV on, and when I saw her, I light right up.
I've never seen any woman in all my life.
No, sir.
Enter a car the way she did it.
Thank you.
I got 3 women. I want to teach how to get in car.
Thank you.
Listen, I didn't know women could get in car like that.
Okay, then.
It was dignified.
And you look at her face. You look at that face.
And
did you see that face?
I saw the face.
Okay.
And watch how calm.
Okay.
And cool.
Okay.
She was.
Okay.
And what I like most about her is when the commissioner of police was escorting her to the dais.
Glory.
She sauntered.
Thank you.
And as she sauntered, it was as if the country became still. As she took her time.
Okay, then.
Gracefully. Sauntering.
She was graceful.
My God.
The only thing was that whatever she was reading from.
Yeah.
I was wondering what went wrong, but now that you say that they lost the speech, and
Minutes
how
lost
they
it.
lost the speech, that was very important.
They lost it. And anybody contradict me, I'll sue them. That's what I'm going to do with them now. Sister.
Wow.
I got somebody else on the phone, eh?
Thank you kindly, and have a blessed one.
God save the Queen.
Continue to do well.
I shall. I want the FNM to know. Anybody who contradicts me, I'm suing y'all. That's my new strategy now. I'm suing, because I'm angry. And when I'm angry, I'm going to court. And I saw my favorite judge. I ain't going to call their name. This is Freedom March. Tell the caller, wait. My name is Rodney Monker. I want the world to know that the fourth prime minister lost the speech from the throne. And let the FNM deny it. And the FNM who denies it, I shall take out a writ in the Supreme Court and sue. I'm suing y'all. I'm suing y'all because y'all was wrong to lose the speech from the throne. That's what happened. This is Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker, and I shall be back after the break.
Do you have something to say to the senator? Call Freedom March at 323-7775. Toll free from anywhere in the Bahamas at 242-300-0045. Freedom March with Rodney Monker, only on ILTV. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live here in Nassau, Bahamas on ILTV. My name is Rodney Monker, and of course, I'm a Justice of the Peace here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and I welcome the many people who has joined me. Today, I told you how the Parliament convened. You might not believe it. Dr. Hubert Alexander Minnis is the fourth Prime Minister in an independent Bahamas and the first Prime Minister to lose the original copy of the speech from the throne. And anybody who contradicts me, I'm going to show them how angry I am. I'm going to sue you. I have a caller. Caller, welcome to Freedom March. I'm suing y'all. Bunch of incompetents lose the speech from the throne. What else y'all going to lose? I got somebody on the phone.
Hello.
Sir, how are you?
I'm just fine.
What's on your mind?
You know, you're a person that I used to listen to.
Okay.
I think I can stop because I think you're trying to mix up the country.
What do you mean by mix up?
Sometimes I even ain't sure. You took your medication today?
I did. Honestly.
You did?
I did. I took
because
3.
When the FNM was out, you was ranting and raving about the PLP.
Because the PLP was wrong.
Say that again?
I rant against the PLP because the PLP had been committing some sins. Now the FNM is, so I'm going to curse them out. You have a problem with that?
They ain't been in yet for them to commit a sin.
Why Minnis lost the speech from the throne? Answer that.
Well, I can use the one that they use with Perry. He's human.
What he is?
That could happen, yes.
No, man. The Prime Minister can't lose the speech from the throne, man. That's incompetence. He might as well...
That tells you that he's incompetent?
Yes.
Oh, man.
It is the most important document for the opening of the Parliament. My God, look at what...
They had a copy, right?
Yes, but that was not the proper one. Don't forget who we are.
They have the same words on them?
Listen, we are number one. Let's act like number one. Goodness me. Come on.
Well, I think you need to act like number one.
How should I act?
You have an audience now.
Yes.
That you can teach some people some things. Because sometimes you sound like you're very intelligent.
Okay.
But
how do I sound now?
It's like sometimes I don't think you take your medicine.
I told you I took 3 pills today. Goodness me.
You remind me of?
Who?
Dr. Roop.
Dr. who?
Very great doctor.
Dr. who? How dare you curse me by describing me as a Philistine. All right?
Philistine?
You stop it, eh?
Well, I know what Dr. Roop is.
He's a Philistine.
He's a very good doctor.
You stop it.
When you don't take that medicine, forget it.
Okay.
And that seems to be the problem with you. When you ain't take all your medicine, forget it.
Well, help me. How does that sound?
The only thing I can help you with is making sure that you take that medicine every day.
Listen, help me take my medicine. You take it care, eh? With
yes,
your F&M self. Welcome to Freedom March. Hello?
Hello?
What's on your mind, sister?
Good afternoon, Mr. Monker.
Good afternoon.
I wanted you to check to see if the speech spoke to the taxi plates. I'm not sure if I heard it earlier today.
Yes, there was some reference, but give me to tomorrow. I heard about that, right? But I kind of ignore it. I became upset when Agent 002 informed me that Minister was up and down looking for the speech. You follow? I became, man, you should hear me in my office. I just cuss, carry on, I grab something and I throw it. You know? But I'll look into that for you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
God bless you. Anybody else on the phone? My people, welcome to Freedom March. Hello? Are you there? Okay, that person isn't there? Hello? Hello, how are you?
Mr. Munker?
Yes.
I'm here.
Speak to me.
Yes.
Speak to me.
I'm calling about the speech today.
Yes.
I was wondering, Mr. Munker, what you think that was about?
You mean
You know, they gave that lady who will continue to be a lady that little small book. You think they was trying to get her to fumble with some of the words in that little book?
They don't know, dear Margaret.
Obviously they don't.
They don't.
Obviously they don't.
She is a woman of God.
Exactly. And then another thing.
Go
that
ahead.
guy from the We March.
Who, that Ranad?
Yes.
That's Minister's wife, first cousin child.
Obviously he had an agenda, Mr. Munker.
Minister was directing it.
Exactly. You know, they think people stupid.
You see, what Minister is doing, and you can't blame Minister, because many of them F&Ms were cutthroat.
Yes, they were.
So what
Plenty of them.
What Minister is doing is he's promoting his wife family and his family.
Exactly. And
see?
the white people.
I ain't see too much white people out there.
No, they ain't come. Don't worry.
Okay, well, I got a whole white man that I could trace from the F&M he was being treated badly. And
Don't worry. Them who they need to set up will be set up,
well, listen,
Mr. Munker.
They can solve this white man problem because he has turned to me. And he said, justice of the peace. Only you, I believe, will help me. And he don't know how I love white people.
Well, Mr. Munker, I know you can help us. And we need help in the next 4 years with them people in charge.
But listen, I'm helping the Negroes and poor white people. So I said to the white man, you should come on my show. And guess what? As he listened, he called me. So I'm going to have a whole white man for about half an hour. And I'm going to challenge Minister to stop economic racism.
That's right.
Because this man, he's a Bahamian.
That's right.
And I don't care what his color is. Once you're a Bahamian and you tell me your case, and I'm satisfied that you are right, the F&M in trouble. I'm bringing a whole white man tomorrow.
Oh, okay, I'll wait to see it, Mr. Munker.
A whole white man.
All right.
I'm bringing him tomorrow. All right? I ain't calling the name because I know the F&M, they'll try to stop him from coming here. But a whole white man I'm going to bring here. So that the Negroes will see that not only Negroes are treated badly in the country now, there's some poor white people who are treated badly. And I don't want them to treat nobody bad. Because once they turn to me, this is the first white man ever complained to me in many years. And I said to him, I'm going to help you, you and the Negro people. So it's powerful. Now, I got more calls? Well, it means I'll have to talk with the budget tomorrow because Minister and them ain't mentioned free university education. It means they lie. And I call on the PLP to refute this lie and call rally. Minister ain't mentioned nothing but free education. Lie to these young people. Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Are you there? Please answer me. Answer me once. Answer me twice. Answer me 3 times. Go to the next phone. Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Mr. Munker, how are you doing?
I am not too well.
You tell that gentleman who called you a snubber, you take your medicine, tell him go to hell.
I should tell him that.
Educated like you.
I thank you. I thank you.
Now, Mr. Munker.
Yes?
I didn't watch the thing today.
Okay.
But when I turn my TV on and check with ZNS, when I see that gem walking down on the thing I believe we're going back to the car.
Yes.
I sit up straight in the bed. I say, well, what the hell is this?
Man is powerful, eh?
Listen here, Mr. Monka.
Yes.
They couldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole.
In fact, I want to tell...
Only thing different between her and the Queen, she's taller.
Wow.
And I want her children to, whatever they could do, make sure when she stepped down from that place, let her still look the same way she look. Because if you look at her, she look like a 20-year-old.
My God.
And Monka,
yes.
She have a lot of nieces, nephews, sisters, and brothers. They could make sure she take care.
Listen, God is going to do wonders for her.
I ask God to let her live, to go way beyond.
You only see, you only see a picture here?
The one, Mr. Monka, the one they want put there?
Yeah.
Then she go down in the gardens and she go and look for, see if they see one fine piece of cassava.
Yeah.
The stick could drop.
Oh, Jesus.
And she could go and get back up. When they say, what happened to the Governor General? They say she going down the thing. Then she go back down. They say, what happened, Governor? Why you get up?
But Dame Margaret.
Stick broke. My stick broke.
She's royal, eh? She's royal. Anyway, take good care.
Mr. Monka. Yes. But you tell anybody, don't mess with you.
Yeah, tell them that.
Don't mess with you.
The man said I wouldn't take my pills.
Tell him the pills would... Only tell him how many pills you'll take. You put that foot in him, and I have a number 11 foot, and I'll put it there for you.
You're a good woman.
Thank you.
God save the Queen. Bye-bye. Any more people, then? Welcome to Freedom March. Hello?
Hello?
Sir, what's on your mind?
Hello?
Yes, sir, I can hear you. Speak to me.
Hello?
Sir?
Hello, Rodney?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Miss? How you doing, Senator?
I'm not too well. The F&M lost a whole speech.
Can you hear me?
They lost the speech from the throne. You heard me?
Yes. Yes, sir. Don't look at that guy who called you a while ago, but you need medicine.
Yes.
You need to go take 12 medicine. All right? You sound like a fool.
They always treat me bad.
That you telling the people the truth, and don't let nobody say to you, man.
Nobody.
Okay?
Nobody.
They're jokers. And they give my homegirl a little piece of paper in her hand.
Yeah.
To read. My Andrews girl.
Yeah, they're wrong.
The best in the world.
Yes, sir.
That's the Queen from that time.
She's royal.
And don't let nobody take to you, because I'm glad that you keeping ministers them in check, because they think the people stupid.
Yeah.
These young people, they need to open their eyes.
They have to.
Jokers.
Jokers.
And going behind the former Prime Minister with everything that Perry left to the family island to bring this country up. Then follow the copy.
That's right.
That's the real thing, Mr. McCall.
Oh, yeah.
And you continue doing what you was doing.
I shall.
And I got your back.
I thank you.
I'm an Andres man.
Listen, they say Andres men are some of the greatest men.
Yes, sir.
So you make sure you join us on Labor Day.
And I'm your cousin. I'm a Monroe, and I'm not afraid.
Listen, y'all is my family.
Thank you, sir.
Let's stick together, eh?
Yes, sir, and I'm a JP too.
Okay, JP.
Thank you, sir.
We got to get together sometime.
Anytime.
God save the Queen.
Oh, yes, sir. Thanks. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's any more call? Okay. Well, let's look quickly, because time is running out on me, on some of the things that ministers didn't mention. Ministers promised free university education, but between him and Jeff Lloyd, they left it out. Watch what is happening with Jeff Lloyd. All the things and the criticism he was making about education, now that he is the minister and has seen the program of Fitzgerald, he's backing back, slowly, backing back, all right? Because they were prepared to come to power by any means possible, principally misleading, spreading yellow propaganda and lies. Now, Jeff is backing back, all right? Because he knows that he met a good policy. And as they talk about reforming education, the first Education Act was established in 1962 by the UBP. And it is the best Education Act that I've read. And then in 1993, Mr. Ingram and the F&M messed around with it. All right? So what are these people talking about? So he talks about improving education. Now that he is sitting in the minister chair, he recognized that he was spreading false propaganda. This is Jeff Lloyd, who was the principal in the back of Andrus in a program called Yeast. And when Papa recognized what kind of yeast he had in the back of there, Hubert Ingram defunded it. You heard me? And Papa is alive. And I challenge anyone to contradict that. Papa's alive. And one day, I'm going to get mad and tell y'all why Papa don't trust yeast. Because them yeast even can't raise bread. Okay? So, what else? He never spoke about the national resources. No plan to eliminate the dump fire. Because it was under minister in the FNM government that the IDB provided $25 million to deal with the dump site. And they mismanaged it. And in the speech from the throne, the FNM, notwithstanding that Ranad Hanfield and the various so-called environmental group were pressuring the PLP to solve the problem, Menace has ignored it because there's no provision in the speech from the throne. And we now know that Ranad is a fake and a fraud. That's Menace's wife, first cousin's son. Let's get it again. Ranad Hanfield is Dr. Menace, the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, his wife, first cousin's son. So Menace was always in charge. I didn't know it then. But I received a revelation to stay far. And I stayed far. And I warn y'all Negroes, because I look at Ranad and I'm able to identify the various categories of Negro. And when I look at Ranad, I said to myself, Ranad is a King George III Negro. That's what kind of Negro he is. He's a King George III. He's a King George III. And the Prime Minister's a King George III Negro. 1760 to 1820. And that's what kind of Negro he is. He's a fake and a fraud. So no provision is in here, even though Save the Bay and them have been some of the biggest financial contributor to the FNM. They ain't serious about environmental harmony. They ain't serious about it. They think we're stupid. Okay? And then I told you earlier how they have not dealt with a number of issues. How are we going to create this employment? They talk about promoting tourism. Well, isn't that what the PLP was doing? Promoting tourism? Huh? And they certainly isn't acting as if we are #1 in tourism. Because the man who they appointed as Minister of Tourism, he's there to make sure that Bahama doesn't function. It's a bunch of conflict. But it's disgraceful that Menace lost the speech from the throne. Y'all thought I didn't know it. Y'all can't hide nothing from me. Nothing. And I'll tell you why. In 1983, I marched hundreds of students out of the various high schools between 1983 and 1988. And today, they hold powerful position in the country. And they remembered that when they were students, I treated them with respect and dignity and never encouraged them to do anything unlawful. And so today, they are throughout the country. And they are valuable citizens. And they know I'm their justice of the peace. And whenever the government is going contrary, they know it is their duty to tell me. You mean to tell me Menace lost the speech from the throne? Goodness of mercy. Man, you're a bunch of incompetent Negroes. Lost the speech from the throne. That can't happen. I come here on this show And when I prepare something, I make a copy, I'll put it in here. Then I take a copy to my car, and then I push a copy in my back pocket. So I can't lose. But these guys are incompetent, and they have offered us no economic solution. But I'm going to give them the final one. 50,000 jobs we can produce through agriculture, agricultural production. And with agricultural production, there will be no corruption. Man, I'm poetic, eh? Production, corruption. No production, plenty corruption. Wow, isn't that poetic? Let me try it one more time. If there is production, there'll be no corruption. Michael Pintard would be so busy cutting down bush and planting peas and corn. He wouldn't have time to study, you know, sugarology. Oh boy, I don't know what I'm going to do as a citizen. I should just go to another island. I wonder what would be a good island to hide from them. I think I'm going to go into hiding this week. You know, I usually hide. I'm going to go into hiding, and I'm going to hide from them. Now, there was an interesting thing that Her Excellency read from the throne. And I saw the hands of Dr. Dwayne Sands, because I believe that Dr. Sands is a saved man. And this is what he says in that speech. The FNM has promised to support national health insurance and the construction of a mini hospital in Eleuthera. Well, I'm happy to hear that, because the PLP has been working on that project for many years, and the FNM had been deliberately sabotaging it because it is a party of special interest. But they got to support it now, because Bain and Grandstown are their constituency. And that's where the poor Negroes are. Freetown. That's where poor Negroes live. And so, you all have a political responsibility to build on the foundation of national health insurance. You have to. And it's a good program. And it's the PLP program. And you should be smart and say, listen, this is a good PLP program, but we just didn't like how it looked like God gave it to the PLP. Listen, you know how many ideas people give to me? God give it to them. And when God gave it to them, they said to themselves, Moncur is the best person to pass it to, as they continue to get good blessing. So acknowledge good PLP policies and build upon it. Because after all, we are one people. We are one people. We ain't got no place to go. We all have to live here. So we have to be smart and work together. Just work together and give, you know, encouragement. Oh boy, it's amazing what I have to put up with. It's just amazing. I got to put up with all this kind of incompetency. A whole prime minister loses a whole speech from the throne. But you know, y'all think I wouldn't know it. Y'all can't hide nothing from me. Because most of the people in the country who ain't related to me, well, they're my friends. And they know that if they tell me, I'm going to tell everybody. So this is powerful, powerful. An investment and promotion board for Grand Bahama, among other things, to promote Grand Bahama as a place in the production of film. How many jobs y'all could create? Y'all must have turned Grand Bahama into a big stage. Goodness me. These Negroes ain't got no idea. And if you ain't got no idea, call town meeting and invite people to come with ideas. You know, just invite us to come with ideas. Oh boy, my work is never done. I have a citizen who looks like a white man, and he has been suffering from under the FNM. And then the PLP came to power. It appears that they didn't do anything to solve his problem. But since the problem started under the FNM. I'm going to produce, if it is God's will, a whole white man who's a Bahamian. I want to bring him here so he can tell you all. And then I'm going to write a letter on his behalf. I'm going to write it to Minnis and to Carl Bethel. And I'm going to call on you all to be decent and give that white Bahamian what he's entitled to, because it's unfair. And I'll tell you another thing. I know who you all did it for. And I'm going to hide it and keep quiet. But solve this white man problem, because he's a Bahamian, and I want all Bahamians to be treated fairly. Okay? So, Lord, keep that white man strong so that he will come here and tell the Bahamas his suffering. And it should not happen, because he's Bahamian and he's qualified. And he's not responsible over the fact that he's white because he didn't make himself. I don't believe it had anything to do with racism, but I'm suspicious. But I really don't think so. So let justice flow like a mighty river. My name is Rodney Monker. A white Bahamian has appeared in the district of New Providence asking for assistance. And I thank God that I have a whole TV station to bring a whole white man, a whole Bahamian white man, so that he may put his case. So let's hope that he's strong enough to show up tomorrow. This is Freedom March. A white citizen is also subjected to horrible policies. And I call on this FNM government. It is the people's time, and I want this white man to be treated like he's entitled to. He's a Bahamian. Tomorrow, a white Bahamian. This is Freedom March. You take good care. God save the Queen.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.